This video is sponsored by Squarespace. From websites and online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence and run your business. Welcome to another Progress Daily episode. Last time I told you how to get started on a brand, but I missed a few key details, and that was something a lot of people in the comments kept repeating. Details, more details. So today we're gonna do an introduction dive on the two programs that I use for anything and everything that is merchandise. And of course, if you have any questions along the way, my dear sir, feel free to ask in the comments and I will 100% cover it. Let's go. To map out / doodle the concepts, I use a $10 app on an iPad called Procreate, and then to finalize everything, I use a program called Adobe Illustrator. Now, sometimes I can just use Adobe Illustrator, but let's go ahead and start the second part of building the Progress Daily brand. I use a $330 iPad, I use a 2016 MacBook Pro, and I use a ton of Adobe products, so I purchased the entire suite of apps for $80 a month. Illustrator alone is $34 a month, but I use Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere, Lightroom, Acrobat, and After Effects on a regular basis. Damn, it's already hot enough for the fan. Anyways, when starting this off, it's important to know where you're going first. Now, as for products, I'm a big fan of launching 3 at a time because it's simple enough for people to buy the whole thing if they want to, and it doesn't break the bank. And the way to think about that is, what do you use the most? So for me, wow, this is the worst marker to use for something like this because you can't see it. First and foremost, a long sleeve shirt. During the summer, you gotta cover up your skin. And also, since it's summer, a hat. You gotta cover up your skin, I just said that. And in the last episode, we already talked about stickers, so you gotta put stickers down on that mother jabble, jabble, dabble, wabble. 1, 2, 3, focus. Now with the focus simplified, it'll be much easier moving forward, but the next step, I will just breeze through it, is actually picking the shirts that you want. I think this makes it much easier when trying to pick the colors for the design you want, and it's so hot in here, I feel like I have to leave. Oversimplified, the easiest way to find somebody near you is drop shipping near me. And then wherever you live, you're probably gonna have someone close to you, and then you just have to find the best price out of the businesses near you. I've been doing this for a while, so in Cincinnati, there's a company called We Have Become Vikings that I use. I've been using them since the beginning. They handle the printing, and then the shredquarters.com handles the fulfillment because they already have a system in play. They're good friends of mine, and they were just like, hop on in. Ask the place that you order the shirts from if they also do the fulfillment, and then it's a all in one stop. Good English, idiot. The 2 websites where most companies get their clothing from are tscapparel.com and ssactivewear.com. So it's a safe bet to go through these 2 websites, and they have thousands of options of shirts you can make. Shirts, beanies, hats, pants, everything, like a ton of stuff. But a huge warning, if you do want to build custom clothes, like completely from scratch, your own design, like a lot of the clothing Rip and Dip does, which is like all over print, button-up designs, you have to likely order at least 1,000 pieces of garment, and it is very realistic that it will cost you at least $30,000 to get an order of these shirts. Keep that in mind. That's a goal of mine for the future, but for now, this is my favorite shirt, and it came straight from this website. Luckily, I already had in mind the color of shirts that I wanted, so now this is where we go to Adobe Illustrator and load it up. This is a new project, so I'm gonna go to Create New. Now, I'm not gonna make this too technical at all. I'm just gonna say that likely it's gonna look like this, and on the right, you can change the title and the width and the height. Those are the only things I really mess with. You can also do it in inches if you want, but I like to do points because that's sort of the way that you edit in Premiere as well, so I'm used to it. So I do the width 1080 and the height 1350 because that is the exact proportion that a vertical picture on Instagram is. And I'm just gonna name this project whatever. Relaunch Progress Daily First Collection. Boom. It's the platform I use to build every single website. It has award-winning templates for any type of project. It has 24/7 customer service and a live chat feature. It has several marketing tools like email campaigns, which is really important if you want a fully engaged audience. It's insanely easy just to switch over your domain or check if a domain is available and purchase it. And of course, the reason I fell in love with Squarespace, it's the easiest platform to use for online stores. It works really well with this program I use called ShipStation. And once I found out Squarespace was compatible, bada bing, bada bang, it was done. You can check out the website for a free trial, or when you're ready to launch, you can go to squarespace.com/JohnHill or click the link in the description down below for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. I'm not sure what your workspace looks like, so hopefully if you go to Window, Workspace, and then just go to Layout, which is the one I typically use, ours will look somewhat similar. So here you go. Now you're looking at a blank canvas. Okay, I could make a lot of videos explaining every single detail of this, but I would recommend that you take maybe a Skillshare class or just watch a bunch of YouTube videos about how to use Adobe Illustrator, the basics, and maybe try to just create some kind of design, just a stick man or something. I mean, I'll show you what I do today, but that would be my recommendation. So I'm gonna drag the clothing pictures that I saved from the website onto this page. So you would go to File, Place, and then just find the folder. Mine's under my desktops, under a folder called Relaunch Progress Daily. And then I'm just gonna select all of them and place. And then it allows you to click wherever you want it to go. I'm just gonna literally drop them like this. Wow, they're really, really tiny. For me, I like to try to make these proportionally fit onto the page. So I try to make them all the same size. So whenever I stretch out the sizes of the pictures, I select all of them to do it, just so they all stay around the same size. And to select a lot of the pictures, you just click down and then drag over whatever pictures that you want to select. It selects all of them, and then you use the points on the top left, bottom left, all these little square points around here. You hold that, and if you hold Shift, so you hold down the mouse button, hold down the Shift button, it will all shape together proportionately. If you let go of the Shift button, boom, like it can go any kind of size. It'll stretch wide, top, or length, whatever. Hold Shift and make it smaller. This is where so many elaborate details can come in, but let me give you a basic knowledge of how to go from the iPad to the computer. This is what the Procreate app looks like. You can actually buy it for $10. I already mentioned that, but same thing with this. I create a new file, which is this plus sign on the top right. Click that, and when it says screen size, clipboard, doesn't matter any of this, you just click create custom size. And for me, I like to do the same width and height, so 1080. So this one you can control really easily by just using your two fingers, moving it up and down. This one you can keep in mind pretty simply. There's a brush, here's an eraser, and here are the layers that you will use later on, but don't even worry about the layers now. That's like literally adding too much confusion at this point. But if you click the brush right here, it'll likely show this screen right here. So you can pick any brush you want out of all of these. It's really fun to play with actually. So you can pick like crazy textures. You can click like this, and then when you draw it, it literally does like this. How crazy is that? So you can create amazing designs just by what's in this. And I clicked with two fingers at the same time to erase what I just did. So that's the undo button. So two fingers, same time, undo. But the brush that I always use is airbrushing, and then just the hard airbrush, because it's just a simple pen. It's like what you're kind of used to with everything you create. And if you can see the motion that I'm doing right now, a lot of artists don't like this because it kind of comes off as cheating, but if you click the brush here on the top left, you can make the streamline whatever you want. So as regular, all the way at the bottom streamline is like a real life pencil. You know, you just kind of move around, and it's very, very exact to how a pen would be. Get rid of that. But if I turn the streamline all the way up, basically it tries to create a perfect streamline as you're drawing. And it's really fun to play with, but as I said, some artists think it's cheating. I don't care. Let's say we want to create a really, really simple design. I'm just gonna make it simple and create one of my characters, which is basically just this thing like this. And then you can go like this. The cool thing about this app too, if you hold down as you're making a circle, it makes it a perfect circle. So you go back to where it was, and then try to make sure that the black lines actually meet the black lines, and then create the little bill of his hat, create the little chi. I'm not gonna try to do this super well just because we're in a slight hurry. Create his hairline, I want it to actually touch, and then eyes, you know, make a little make a little smuggish smile. And then this is where his hands will be going into his pants. You'll understand more in a second. Give his little arms like this, kind of make this go here because his pants are really weird looking, but that's the way I like to do it. Boom, give him some overalls, give him little feet. Okay, so basically this is one of my characters. The really fun thing about this app that I want you guys to just immediately know, you can fill in really easily. So I already know the colors of my guy and I already have them set right here, but here you can just go to any color. You can like select here, do whatever you want, click anywhere here, just find whatever color makes you happy, but you can actually create presets of colors, which I will show later. But for now, it's simpler if I just show you how to do this. So I click this color because I already know that his hat's that color. You can literally just hold this down, drag it, drop it in his hat, there you go. And the reason that it doesn't spill out over the whole canvas is because it's a completely enclosed area. If you leave any open space on the edges, like this, now there's a hole here. If I try to color this part of the hat, it would just seep onto the whole page. So you go back, and now this is covered. You take this dark color, bada bang, bada boom. Color his skin a little bit. Hey, what's Gucci? Whoops, that's where I made the mistake of forgetting to cut off his freaking hands. And then right here a little bit. Pants are blue. Body's the same color as his face because he's not an alien. He's got teal hair. What's Gooch? He's got teal shoes as well. Boom. And there's a character. Now, the confusing part about putting this on the computer is that to use a file that goes onto a shirt, you need to vectorize it. This word will probably give you nightmares. It just means that no matter how much you stretch the picture or reduce it, it doesn't lose any quality. And Adobe Illustrator is the thing that vectorizes pictures. I want this to go to my computer as a PNG file, which means the background will be missing. A JPEG, the background comes with it. So I go to my layers, and if you see, there's a background color. If I just uncheck it, then the file is by itself without any of that white surrounding it. Now, all I do is I go to this top left wrench, and then I go to Share Image, PNG, and from here you can either save it onto the iPad or you can AirDrop it to my computer. This is if you use Apple products. Otherwise, you can find some other way to send it to your computer. Now, Jonathan's MacBook Pro, I'm just gonna accept it. And now this picture is on my computer. So now let's go back to Illustrator. Now we're back on Adobe. That's just how we roll. Now what you wanna do is take the file that you just put on the computer and put it on the Illustrator file. So you do the same thing where you go to File, Place, grab that other file, which happens to be in my downloads folder, and it's got a really clever name, Untitled Artwork 222. That means I've drawn 222 pictures. Now, when you vectorize an image, the bigger that it is, which this is a pretty big picture, the more that's there for it to trace. What I mean is that the bigger it is, the higher quality it will be. Once you click this picture, the program recognizes that it's a PNG file. So when you click it, on the top, different options for this picture will come up, and you'll see Embed, Edit Original, Image Trace. Now, Image Trace is how you vectorize an image. So on the right of it, you'll see a scroll down menu. I typically use high fidelity, even though with a picture like this, since it has such few colors, you could do the 16 colors or the 6 colors, but I'm gonna do a high fidelity photo. Takes a little bit longer, but that's okay. Boom shakalaki leaky. Now, it looks pretty perfect. And this file is ready to be put on any shirt. You can send this to any brand and they will be like, thank you so much for such a good quality photo. But to get the white background off of it, on the top you see expand. This is how you start editing the picture more. So I would go to the top, click expand. Now every part of the picture is separated, and if you right click the picture while it's all selected and click ungroup, you can edit each individual part, like each color, etc. And I will go ahead and erase the background. So since it's ungrouped, that means if I click the white part, it selects just the white part, and you click delete, it's gone. Now the rest of it I think is fine just for this example, so I will group the rest of it together so that I don't have to annoyingly select the whole thing like this every single time. If I just select it now and click group, even if it's unselected, I can just grab it and go psh, and the whole thing will move. Psh. Here's what vectorizing looks like. If I zoom all the way out and I make this way bigger, it is the exact same picture. It didn't lose any quality. Obviously, there's so much I can tell you right now, but right here, you can just grab this thing and you can put it on a shirt if you want to see what it would look like as a sample. So if I were just to have this image on the chest of a shirt, that looks kind of cool. And that's how you play with Adobe and Procreate together. I do want to say I know it's expensive. There are cheaper alternatives to these options, but with these apps, the limits are endless. And what I've shown you today is just barely scraping the surface of what you can do with all these things. Okay, so it's been a few hours and this is my first run on the shirts. I picked a yellow one because I've always wanted to do a yellow, white, black shirt. Let me know what you think down below. I like a simpler design with some pretty smooth font, and then I like throwing in some sketchiness in there. And then obviously I've been wanting to implement some of my drawings. So there's the monkey on the yellow shirt, and then I did a black shirt version of this, and under it, a white shirt version. Now these are the kind of graphics that I do like on shirts. It might not be your cup of tea. I haven't gotten to the hats yet either, but I definitely will start tackling that. We are building literally the most transparent brand ever, even telling you the prices along the way. I love this so much, and we also created a hashtag for the 1,000 true fans. It is, forgot it, Street Team 1000. So if you post a Progress Daily clip or you hashtag Progress Daily, if you are a true fan, go ahead and also hashtag Street Team 1000. I'll see you next time for another video. Every 2 to 4 days, I am uploading videos right now, so just stay tuned, subscribe, all that good stuff. See you next time. Love you so much. Progress Daily, and keep killing it.